Hello everyone, I am Vidya Patil, Assistant Professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering in Sharad Institute of Technology, College of Engineering, Yadrao. Today in this lecture we are going to learn the introduction of refrigeration and air conditioning system. So in this session we are going to cover the refrigeration system, vapor compression system, window air conditioning system and vapor absorption system. First we see the introductory part of refrigeration and air conditioning system. So refrigeration means it is a branch of science which deals with the process of reducing and maintaining the temperature of confined space or material below the temperature of surrounding. Okay, so the system maintained at lower temperature is known as refrigeration system, and the equipment which is going to use to maintain that temperature is known as the refrigerator. So the cooling effect produced by this equipment is the refrigerating effect. Okay, so this refrigerating system or refrigeration and air conditioning is used in various applications like industrial applications, preservation goods, also providing comfortable environment. We are going to use this refrigeration system. So in industrial applications like ice plants, cold storages, also large food packing plants, milk processing plants, also industrial plants such as refineries, chemical plants, we are going to use the refrigeration and air conditioning system. Also for the preservation of freezing, chilling, also storage and transportation of foods, stuff including meat, poultry products, we are going to use the refrigeration system. Also storage of ice, blood and medicines. So also we already use the refrigeration air conditioning system in providing the comfortable environment like in industrial air conditioning and also in comfort air conditioning system. So this refrigeration and air conditioning system is generally work on vapor compression cycle or vapor compression system and vapor absorption system. Okay, so in vapor compression refrigeration cycle is widely used cycle, okay, in refrigeration, also in airspace and marine application. So it uses variety of refrigerants such as ammonia, NH3, then freon group, R12, R22, okay, then sulfur dioxide, SO2 and carbon dioxide, CO2. The vapor compression refrigeration system has fundamentally four basic components we are going to use. You can see in this diagram, these are the four basic components. Okay, first is the evaporator. You can see in this figure, first is the evaporator, second again there is a compressor, then condenser and expansion valve. These are the four main components of vapor compression refrigeration system. Okay, so now we see the one by one function of each component. Okay, so evaporator is generally used here. Okay, so evaporator is a liquid refrigerant at low pressure. Okay, that pressure evaporates at low temperature and produce refrigerating effect. Okay, compressor is generally used to compress low pressure vapor from evaporator is sucked and compressed to high temperature. Okay, high temperature and pressure. So work done by the compression is generally mentioned by W. Next is the condenser. So high pressure vapors are condensed in rejecting the heat to the cooling system. So in condenser, high pressure vapor is condensed by rejecting the heat. Okay, and lastly there is a expansion valve is there. So expansion valve is a device. So high pressure liquid refrigerant coming from the condenser is allowed to pass to the evaporator, okay, through this expansion valve. So a capillary or a thermostatic expansion valve is an expansion device used through which the liquid refrigerant is throttled. So the unit has been designed to demonstrate this process to investigate the effect of different variables on performance of theoretical cycle and actual cycle of the refrigeration. So in generally vapor compression system where vapor compression cycle, okay, where liquid is used as a refrigerant in place of air, in case of air refrigeration cycle, because in air refrigeration cycle we use air, but in vapor compression cycle we are going to use liquid. Okay, so in vapor compression system, working medium is air is replaced by liquid, and therefore it involves sensible as well as latent heat, and coefficient of performance of vapor compression system is more than air refrigeration system. Okay, because here we are going to, here in this system air is replaced by liquid, that's why there is involvement of sensible as well as latent heat. That's why the coefficient of performance of the vapor compression system is more than air refrigeration system. Okay, now we see one by one. There are in vapor compression system generally there are main 4 different processes are occur with these 4 different components. There is a compression process with the help of compressor, then condensation process with the help of condenser, then expansion process through this expansion valve, and vaporization process through this evaporator. Now first we start from the compression process. Here in compressor, low pressure vapor in dry state, you can see here low pressure vapor. In here there is a one symbol, so low pressure, P2 having the low pressure, so low pressure vapor in dry state is drawn from the evaporator. So evaporator outlet is P2 having very low pressure vapor, okay, which is in dry state. Okay, so drawn from the evaporator is during the suction stroke of compressor. So that outlet of this evaporator is the inlet of this compressor. So low pressure vapor is compressed into this compressor in compression process. Okay, so during compression the pressure and temperature increases until the vapor temperature is greater than the temperature of condenser cooling medium. Okay, that's why here in compression process pressure and temperature increases. Next is the condensation process. In here after compression pressure and temperature increases, so P1 having the more pressure than P2. So the outlet of this compression is the inlet of this condenser. So in condenser, condensation process is carried out where high pressure refrigerant vapor enters to this condenser, and that time there is a, here in condenser there is a cooling medium is there, which cooling medium is absorbs the heat and converts vapor into liquid. What happen in condenser? In condenser cooling medium is there, and that cooling medium absorbs the heat and converts vapor into liquid. That is called as a condensation. Next is the expansion valve. After condensation, point 3 is there, that is the inlet of expansion valve. So after condensation, liquid refrigerant is stored in this liquid reservoir. You can see in this diagram also. Okay, so after condensation here there is a reservoir. Okay, so first there is a compressor, then here condenser, and here you can see there is a reservoir. So after condensation the liquid is stored in this reservoir. So liquid from the reservoir then passed through this evaporator, through this expansion valve. Okay, so liquid refrigerant is passed to the evaporator through this expansion valve. So the expansion valve reduces pressure, okay, by keeping the enthalpy constant here. So pressure is reduced here. So this process is taking place is called as a throttling process, because enthalpy is constant here. That's why this process is called as a throttling process. Next is the vaporization process. Okay, and this vaporization process is carried out in this evaporator, where the low pressure liquid refrigerant, here there is a, here at the outlet there is also pressure is low, again at the outlet of this compressor pressure is high, again at the end of condensation liquid vapor converted into liquid, and that again having high pressure, but in expansion valve there is a reduction in pressure, and that's why that pressure is the inlet of this evaporator. Okay, so low pressure liquid refrigerant after the expansion enters into this evaporator, where the considerable amount of heat is absorbed by it, and that again liquid is converted into vapor. So this vapor at having very low pressure. Okay, so this low pressure vapor is again sucked into the through this suction line into the compressor. Okay, so this is whole and sole cycle of this vapor compression refrigeration system. Okay, so the dry saturated vapor at point 1 enters into the compressor. Then again compression process is isentropic process, which increases pressure from evaporator pressure, okay, to the condenser pressure. Again point 2 is a super saturated vapor that enters into the condenser, where heat is rejected at constant pressure. Okay, and due to the rejection of this heat, temperature of the superheated vapor is reduced to the saturation temperature. Okay, further removal of the heat result in condensation, and vapor converts into the liquid at point 3. So at point 3 again throttling of liquid takes place, and which reduces pressure by keeping enthalpy constant, and throttling process is carried out. Okay, so here this is the overall cycle, vapor compression refrigeration cycle. Now in next we are going to see the construction of window air conditioning system. First we know that this window air conditioning system is work on vapor compression system. Okay, that's why this in window air conditioning system we are going to use vapor compression system. Here you can see in this figure, this is the window air conditioning system. Here there is a wall. Okay, here for the wall there is a attachment of the fan. Okay, both side of the wall. First here right side and left side. For right side there is a fan that is the outside of the room. The wall right side is outside of the room, and wall left side is the inside of the room. Okay, for outside there is a condenser is placed at the outside of the room, and evaporator is placed inside the room. Okay, in window air conditioning system. So again here there is a condenser, so outside air is there. Again compressor is there. Okay, compressor also placed outside of the wall, outside of the room. Then again here and inside of the room there is a evaporator is situated. Okay, so here there is a, at the middle of this wall there is a damper is placed, and both fans, evaporator fan and condenser fan, is used here. Okay, also capillary tube is also used here. We see the one by one procedure. Now the refrigerant vapor at high pressure and high temperature is supplied by the compressor, okay, to the condenser. Here what happened, high pressure high temperature air is supplied to the supplied through this compressor to the condenser. So propeller type fan is used here, okay, to draw air from the atmosphere and circulate through this condenser. So again air cools here and the refrigerant vapor, and it becomes liquid. So condensation process is carried out here. That's why air cools the refrigerant vapor and it becomes the liquid. So in this window air conditioning system is a very small unit, okay, having capacity 1, 1.5, 2 or 2.5 ton. Okay, so usually these do not use in incorporate heating capacity. So it is usually capable of cleaning air, then cooling air application, then distributing air. Okay, so dehumidifying air applications we are going to use this window air conditioning system. Now we see the working cycle of this window air conditioning system is dependent on vapor compression cycle. So high pressure high temperature refrigerant vapor, okay, is coming out from this compressor, is condensed here in a condenser using outside air as a cooling medium. Okay, so the liquid refrigerant from this condenser passes through this dryer filter. Okay, dryer filter is mounted here. So this high pressure low temperature liquid refrigerants enter through this capillary tube to goes to the evaporator. So here there is a capillary tube. So function of this capillary tube is high pressure low temperature liquid refrigerant is convert into low pressure low temperature liquid refrigerant. Okay, you can see here, that's why the capillary tube here mounted between this condenser and evaporator. Okay, so through this capillary tube low pressure low temperature liquid refrigerant enters into the evaporator. So again liquid refrigerant further passed through the capillary to reduce pressure and then passed to the evaporator, where it absorbs heat from the air. Okay, so that's why producing the cooling effect, absorbs heat from the air and producing cooling effect there. So due to the absorption of heat, liquid refrigerant again converts into vapor, and vapor having, and that vapor again drawn into the compressor. So this cycle is repeated again and again. So this is the constructional details and working of the window air conditioning system. Also in window air conditioning system there are some master devices, master controls are also used. Okay, so that controls the compressor motor, that master controls this compressor motor, then again condenser motor. Okay, again evaporator fan motor. So when switch is on cool position, all motors operate and complete unit works as an air conditioning unit. Okay, so also these are master controls, but there are some thermostat control is also mounted in window air conditioning system. So that thermostat control located in return air path. Okay, near the filter, return air path near the filter. So it is used to ensure desired temperature condition inside the room. Okay, so this is working construction details of the window air conditioning system. Now next is vapor absorption system. Okay, now we see the vapor absorption system. What is it? In vapor compression system there is a compressor is the main part, but in vapor absorption system the compressor is removed here in vapor absorption system, and at the place of compressor there is a pump, heat exchanger, generator, rectifier. These all components added in vapor absorption system. Okay, so you can see here, we see one by one. First there is a evaporator outlet is there, that evaporator outlet is here for the absorber inlet. Again through this absorber there is a pump arrangement is there. Through this pump the strong solution enters into this generator. Again in generator outlet is going to the rectifier, and again weak solution goes to this through this heat exchanger to the again this absorber. So again rectifier is going to the condenser, and there is a receiver also, and there is a expansion valve and this evaporator. These are the all components. Now we see the function and working of each component one by one. Okay, so first what happened, the dry ammonia vapor at low pressure passes into the absorber from the evaporator. So in evaporator there is a low pressure dry ammonia vapor is there. So that low pressure dry ammonia vapor enters into this absorber. Okay, enters into the absorber through this evaporator. Okay, so in absorber there is a dry ammonia vapor is dissolved in cold water. In absorber there is already a cold water is there. Okay, and that dry ammonia is dissolved into that cold water. That's why strong solution of ammonia is formed in absorber. Okay, so when heat involved during the absorption of ammonia is removed by the circulating cold water. You can see there is a circulation of cold water also. That's why heat is evolved during the absorption of ammonia is removed by the circulating cold water through the coils kept in absorber, but that are not shown here. So next, the highly concentrated ammonia, that highly concentrated ammonia is called as a aqua ammonia. So that aqua ammonia is then pumped through this pump to the generator through the heat exchanger. You can see in in absorber there is a aqua ammonia solution is there, and that aqua ammonia solution is pumped through this pump through heat exchanger goes to the generator. Okay, in heat exchanger here there is a heat exchanger is there. So in heat exchanger strong ammonia solution is again heated by the hot weak solution. Here there is a hot weak solution. You can see here in this figure the weak solution returning from the generator is there, that is hot. That's why here the aqua ammonia goes through this pump is cold. That's why this cold aqua ammonia takes the heat from hot weak solution. Here there is a exchange of heat taking place in this heat exchanger. Okay, so that's why this solution becomes warm solution. Okay, so heat exchanger is the strong ammonia solution is heated by the hot weak solution and returning from this generator to the absorber. So in generator warm solution is for so again this becomes the warm solution, and this warm solution is further heated in generator. Okay, through the coils. You can see here there in generator there are coils. That's why this warm aqua solution again heated here in generator. So sometimes for heating purpose coils are used, again sometimes gas or electricity also used in generator. So the ammonia vapor is again driven out to the solution. So boiling point of ammonia is very less than that of water. Hence vapor leaving the generator are mainly of ammonia. Here vapor leaving the generator is mainly ammonia. Okay, so again weak ammonia solution is left into the generator is called as a weak aqua. You can see here the weak ammonia solution is left in generator is weak aqua. So this weak solution again return to the through heat exchanger to the absorber. Okay, so ammonia vapor leaving the generator make here in ammonia vapor is only leaving here because liquid is again sent to the absorber through this heat exchanger. That's why only vapor is remained here in generator. So this ammonia vapor leaving in generator again may contain some water vapor also. Okay, so if this water vapor is allowed to the condenser directly condenser and expansion wall, it may freeze resulting chocked flow. Okay, that may freeze. That's why the result is flow is chocked. That's why again analyzer and rectifier is placed here. Okay, to in the system before the condenser, because system is become chocked if analyzer and rectifier not placed here. That's why to avoid choking before the condenser, analyzer and rectifier is placed here. So ammonia vapor from the generator passes through this series of trays in analyzer, and ammonia is separated from water vapor here through the analyzer ammonia is separated from the water vapor. So separated water vapor again return to the generator, and then ammonia vapor passes through the rectifier. Here ammonia vapor, here also in rectifier there is a cooling water arrangement is there. So separated water vapor return to this separated water vapor return to this generator, and only ammonia vapor is sent to the condenser here. Okay, so water vapor is still present in ammonia vapor and condenses, and the condensate is returned to the analyzer. So virtually pure ammonia vapor then passes through the pure ammonia vapor is passes through this condenser. So high pressure liquid ammonia is again throttled by this expansion valve here through the expansion valve and led to evaporator. So in evaporator the liquid fully vaporizes in evaporator, and low pressure ammonia vapor leaving the evaporator, again low pressure ammonia vapor leaving the evaporator enters into this absorber, and the cycle is completed. So this cycle is repeated again and again to provide the refrigerating effect. Okay, so this is the whole and soul constructional details and function of each and every component of the practical vapor absorption system. Okay, now we see the comparison between vapor absorption system and vapor compression system. So generally in vapor absorption system low grade energy used like heat, therefore it will work on exhaust system from IC engine. Okay, and in vapor compression system the high grade energy used like mechanical work. Okay, so next moving parts are only in pump. In vapor absorption system moving parts are pumps, which is very small element of the system. hence the operation of the vapor absorption system is very smooth operation. But in vapor compression system there is compressor is used, that's why in compressor there are so many moving parts are there, that's why more wear and tear and noise are also in vapor compression system. Next, in vapor absorption system can work on lower evaporator pressure also without affecting the coefficient of performance, but in vapor compression system coefficient of performance decreases considerably with decreasing evaporator pressure. Okay. Also in vapor absorption system there is no effect of reducing the load on performance, but here in vapor compression system their performance is adversely affected at partial load also. So liquid traces of refrigerant present in piping at exit of the evaporator, but liquid traces in suction line may damage the compressor also. Okay, so that's why vapor compression system is very difficult and charging of refrigerant is also difficult in vapor compression system, but in charging of refrigerant is very simple in vapor absorption system, and automatic operation for the controlling the capacity is also easy in vapor absorption system, and part load performance is low in vapor absorption system, and there is no effect of variation of load in vapor compression system. Also there are some other comparisons also, that is wear and tear is more in vapor compression system and less in vapor absorption system. Also the leakage of refrigerant is more chances in vapor compression system, but in vapor absorption system there is no chance as there is no compressor, okay, or any reciprocating components that causes the leakages. So there is no leakages in vapor absorption system, and there is in vapor compression system liquid traces in suction line, that's why that damage the compressor, but here there is no liquid traces in refrigerant present in piping, and that is in exit of the evaporator, so there is no danger in vapor absorption system. Okay, so in this session we learned the vapor absorption system, vapor compression system, also the construction and working details of window air conditioning system. Okay, thank you.